the most expensive painting in the world, valued at more than $1 billion. It was stolen and attacked multiple times. Thousands mourned and left notes and flowers for her. And the prime suspect was Pablo Picasso, and even the conqueror Napoleon Bonaparte was a big fan. The Mona Lisa wasn't actually the name of the lady. It was Lisa del Giocondo, an Italian noblewoman and the wife of a wealthy silk merchant from Florence, who actually commissioned the painting from the renowned artist Leonardo da Vinci, because he wanted to place a portrait of his wife, Lisa, in their new home as a celebration. Leonardo da Vinci began working on the Mona Lisa in the year 1503, and you'd be surprised to find out that Mona Lisa may be an unfinished painting. Leonardo never gave the painting to the Florentine merchant because he's been particularly attached to the Mona Lisa, constantly working on it for around 15 years, creating layer upon layer to perfect it. He carried the painting with him wherever he went, making subtle refinements over the years, until Da Vinci's right hand became partially paralyzed in 1517 before he could finish the Mona Lisa. And the lady's lack of eyebrows is an evidence for this theory. However, some historians say that the no-eyebrow look was fashionable in the early 1500s. The Mona Lisa came to France with Leonardo when he worked there under the patronage of Francois I, and after Leonardo's death, he left the painting to his favorite student and assistant, Salai, in his will, who later sold it to King Francois for 4,000 gold ducats and was later added to the French royal collection. And after the French Revolution, it was transferred to the Louvre Museum in Paris. And then, in 1800, the Mona Lisa came into the possession of Napoleon Bonaparte, who briefly hung it in his bedroom during his rule. It was later returned to the Louvre Museum after his fall from power. The Mona Lisa became world famous in 1911 when it was stolen, which led to extensive media coverage, and even those uninterested in art followed the story, and thousands immediately came to the Louvre Museum to stare at the blank wall where it once hung and mourn. People also left countless notes and flowers to honor the missing painting. Later, the New York Times would compare this public display of grief to the one seen after Princess Diana's death in 1997. Many were brought in for questioning, including Pablo Picasso, who was actually a prime suspect in this theft, because he'd been caught buying stolen Louvre pieces before. 2 years later, the real culprit was finally caught. He was an employee of the Louvre Museum. He was a proud Italian nationalist who felt that the painting belonged to his and Leonardo's homeland, not France. The thief hid the painting under his coat and simply walked out with it. For the first 24 hours, no one noticed that it was stolen, and since paintings used to move around a lot, some people thought that the painting had been taken out either for cleaning or to be photographed until they realized that it was actually just stolen. After hiding it for 2 years, he was busted trying to sell the Mona Lisa to a Florence art dealer. However, he did briefly get his wish. After the painting was recovered, it toured its original home, Italy, before returning to Paris. The Mona Lisa has also survived multiple attacks. The first incident was when a man who claimed to be in love with Mona Lisa cut it with a razor blade. A few years later, a Bolivian man threw a rock at it, and another art attacker pitched acid at the painting. It was also sprayed with red paint while on display in Tokyo. These attacks inspired the bulletproof glass. In 1962, the Mona Lisa received a valuation of $100 million. Today, the Mona Lisa cannot be bought nor sold, and if you account for inflation, she's worth more than $1 billion in today's money. And it has remained in the Louvre Museum and is considered a national treasure of France.